morning everyone and welcome to the Best Management Practice Studio. I'm Jessica Barry from the APM Group and I'm joined today by Stephan Brendel of APMG-International. Should I say APMG Deutschland?
Well, yeah. Basically it's because Germany is a big market, so we have a legal entity there called APMG Deutschland. Well, we're also looking for the German-speaking countries, which includes Austria and Switzerland.
Okay.
And further east, because there's quite a lot of interest in the meantime in OGC best practices from the new European community members and even Russia.
So how are you seeing the exam uptake in the ATO community? Is it growing in Germany in those regions that you talked about?
Well, in ITIL, we've seen an acceptance and an interest in ITIL for many years actually. Longer before any other OGC product has become famous there. So ITIL is probably around for 10 years now. And when V3 was announced, there was quite a lot of confusion in the market first because it took a while to get things translated and people were used to have everything localized. In the meantime, we've seen I would say since springtime this year, we've seen I would almost call it a significant increase in exams now that the intermediates are accepted. And this even happened before we could release them in German. So you could see actually the trend increasing before that. They haven't been released this summer. And we think that it was about the right time now to get rid of V2 and have V3 a working model. I think it's working now.
So what does having the intermediate exams localized in German, and what does it actually mean to the German ITSM community?
Well, because they were used to do the foundation and the service manager in as you know, because they had to write exams, so they all could do it in German, so we're used to it. And now with the OTE exam, you have to be able to read that, so there was some kind of resistance in the beginning for the English exams. Now, the question was, do we have to translate everything? So we actually got back to the accreditor among with other EIs and said, well, there has to be one road, one path to become ITIL expert. And it looks like the life cycle exams were the most accepted path to do that. So what we can currently see is that people who want to be an ITIL expert, which is the main goal, they want to be ITIL experts, they accept that they take the full life cycle stream and then become ITIL expert. If they go on the capabilities, they actually don't take that as a road to the ITIL expert, but to become some kind of a specialist in that area. So you see them doing a foundation and then SOA, and that's it. While you don't see people V3 foundation and take one or two of the life cycles and then stop. They don't stop. They go right to the ITIL expert. So I think that was the right decision, and that's the situation we have, including Mark. So a German-speaking delegate can actually now become an ITIL expert all the way through with just not being confronted with any English exams. The books have been translated, as you know, so that was very helpful. That's the situation currently.
Okay, and Stephan, you are actually part of the translation team for the intermediate exams, along with a member from TÜV and an individual from the ITSMF Germany chapter. Yeah. How did the translation process go, and do you think it was a success?
Yeah, it took us a while to start that project because we had to be sure that there were a stable English question, because we didn't invent any new questions, so we took the original English one. I think it was a success. It was scheduled to take 6 months. It took 6 months. It was, by the way, it was managed using Prince2 as a model. We had to struggle in the beginning with how do we look at the scenarios, and do we have to look at them differently into the question. So the outcome was, and we actually have started with service operations, that we translate the scenario in a sense that people don't have a reading expertise, but can understand the scenario. So we made the translation a bit more open when you come to the question, because you easily, with the translation, you can easily change the level of a question difficulty. So we try to stick with it. You have to be very careful, because if you translate one question very good and the other you don't, people will notice that. And they know what is the right answer and not. So we even had to overcome that part. So in the end, I think, given the feedback, we had some trouble with CSI, but that wasn't just the translation trouble. It had to do with the question itself. From the point of how we did the translation, and when we piloted it and got the feedback, I think, yes, it probably was one of the best projects I've done in the past.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Okay.
And the team was working very well together. I mean, they are competitors. They are people who usually standing in front of each other in daily business. But for that project, everybody left that behind. We were just concentrating on getting this done.
Yeah, for the good of, I guess.
Yeah, the market was waiting
market.
for it. So
yeah.
we saw the responsibility and the accountability, and we did it.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Thank you all. See you soon.